Hello, I am a Sion player in North America. My name is Scaleheart, and I saw some talk about the Trundle matchup. So I did play against a high level Trundle recently. Um, this guy Banana is Master Tier. He's not a Trundle one trick, but he is Master Tier, so this should be a pretty quality example of what a Trundle is. And what I do, first of all, is against champions like Trundle, Darius, Mordekaiser, anybody who will be confident that they win against you level one. Because let's be honest, all of those champions are extremely strong duelists level one. Mord maybe a bit less so than the other two. But they're going to walk up into the bush and they're going to look for a chunk on you. Just trying to catch you sleeping, see if you walk up. Almost always they'll do this, unless they're playing very cautiously or they're AFK or something. So what I do as Sion is I have kind of a selfish start here. I'm not guarding the jungle entrance because I don't think there is a strong or really almost any chance that my kindred is going to get invaded by the Shaco. Shaco might invade level 2 or something like that, but essentially he needs to set up boxes for his first clear, so he's not going to invade. So I walk to this bush, I put the ward here, and I try to catch the Trundle walking up, and I chunk him with a Q. That's my game plan. Unfortunately, Sion's base move speed is 345, which is quite high, one of the highest in the game. But there are a few champions that have higher base move speed. Trundle and Master Yi are two of them. They have 350 move speed. If we click on Mr. Trundle here, we see he has 350 base move speed. So even though I was faster out of the gate, I got this ward down. He manages to spot it and he jukes my first Q. He's just cautious.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
But I'm going to wait patiently. He's going to walk back in the bush and kind of test it again to see if I'm trying to land the Q on him. I should have probably backed up a little bit further, but I do manage to land a Q on him and get a pretty good chunk level 1. Bam, and walk away because you don't want to trade with Trundle in an extended trade level 1. His Q is extremely powerful. So now I try to prevent his back. See, he wants to Q me, so I land this Q. And now I know I have a substantial health lead. Unfortunately, I'm afraid to walk into the bush and trade with him. I should have just taken the trade here, but I let him back. And he's back now, but he's going to be a bit late for the first wave, which means that I'm going to get priority on the first wave, which is extremely good. So either, I would have kept him engaged and I would have chunked him a bit more and taken some damage myself, or he's going to get the back there and I'm going to get wave prio. So either way, it's kind of a win-win for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually push this first wave pretty hard because I want to hit level 2 before him. I'm farming minions, but I'll take a grass proc and a short trade when I can. You see he's beating the heck out of me here, but it's alright because all of my minions are hitting him. So in the end, that's a losing trade for him. And now I have kill threat on him. I'll trade a grass proc again and back up. He wants to continue it. Bam, I land a big Q. I prevent his healing with the early ignite. And he should have flashed here, but he was not expecting my grasp to deal this much damage, and I first blood the Trundle. And so that's essentially how you win the early lane versus Trundle. I'm going to jump forward a little bit now to the mid game and show how a mid game fight might play out. So this is now 16 and a half minutes. We have both lost our first towers. We both ganked a few times and died. Overall, I'm a bit stronger than him. I managed to get the kill on their ADC here, who's already quite behind. And then I'm walking up to catch him pushing the lane in. And he does something a little bit smart here, which is come and engage me in the jungle. But let me pause right here. You see, I have 2 items to his 1 at this point. I have Thornmail and I have Titanic Hydra. You want the Thornmail because it will prevent a lot of the healing that he's going to do off the Ravenous Hydra. And you see he's also building Blade of the Ruined King. So he gets a lot of attack speed. Thornmail will just do a lot of work in this matchup. So he's fighting me, and he has ult now. And with the help of Ignite, I managed to get a pretty decent chunk on him and push him out. However, Trundle players are always able to heal quite a bit with ult, with their W, and so you see he ults me there and he's staying in lane. But I also deal quite a bit of damage to him. You can't see the pillar there, but it's there. I managed to land a Q, and my Titanic Hydra is coming up, which is a lot of good burst on the Trundle. And here I managed to solo kill him with Pyke also there. Pyke would die if he stays and continue to fight me, so he leaves. So that is how you can beat Trundle mid-game if he is, dumb enough to stay and fight you even though he's already low health. One thing to note is that in this matchup, even if you're ahead, Trundle is just a very, very powerful 1v1 champion. And so you want to be careful not to push waves too deep, because if Trundle gets on your screen and you don't have anywhere to retreat to, if you don't have any allies nearby, he can often just kill you. He can stop your escape, he can pillar your ult, and just run you down. So even when you're winning in this matchup, you have to allow him to push waves into you, and then you catch the waves. What he should not ever be able to do is dive you under tower or kill you. That's pretty much it. So at some point you might win the early lane, he might win the early lane, but if you play intelligently, at some point you'll just be trading waves, and that's okay. The way to win the game against that, because he's a very strong split pusher, is you want to join your team at critical moments. You want to join them for dragons, or you want to join them for Baron, with the knowledge that as soon as you leave lane to help with the dragon, as soon as you leave lane to help with the Baron, he's going to take a tower. So you have to be very cognizant of how you're using your time in this matchup. It's very similar to a Tryndamere. And finally, I'm going to show you how things play out in the late game fights versus Trundle. So at this point, we have just gotten Baron. He's pushing tier 2 tower. Our team is up quite a bit, and I just want to stop him from pushing too much farther. Unfortunately, I don't manage to stop him. He ults me instantly. This is pretty typical. Trundles will ult you on cooldown just to chunk you. And even though I'm full armor, you see he just beats the hell out of me because he's itemized very well with Bork, with Ravenous Hydra, and with Black Cleaver. However, even so, what he can't do, especially now that his ult is down, is he cannot dive me, and he cannot push waves into tower without me letting him do it. If he tries to, I would kill him there. And at this point, their team is already losing as he tries to push in, and I'm just going to heal up in the fountain. I'm going to teleport to help my team, and we're going to end the game here. And that's how you can beat Trundle as Tank Sion. Now, this matchup might be a bit harder if you're playing as AD Sion, because, in my opinion, it's quite similar to the Tryndamere matchup, and that you need a certain baseline of tankiness to prevent him from just diving you. Once you get that, it does help to build some AD, it helps to build some way of bursting him or dealing damage to him as he deals damage to you. In this game, I opted for Thornmail, Sunfire, and Titanic Hydra. Overlord's Bloodmail is also pretty good. But I'm afraid that pure AD Sion would have a pretty rough time into Trundle, because he's just going to burst you, and you're not going to have the tankiness to get to the second part of the trade where you unload some damage on him in retaliation. So I do recommend building tank or bruiser in this matchup rather than, pure lethality AD. Thanks for watching.